Been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year.
Hello, welcome to today's video. I thought I would run you through my sort of everyday, pretty simple makeup routine. I have the day off from work. I literally have no plans. I just wanted a day for myself to sort of just chill and relax. But I also wanted to still feel good and look good. So I put on a cute little dress. I've got my hair styled. And I thought, why not put my makeup on and film it for you guys to show you how I do it. I've already styled my hair and I don't particularly want to ruin it. I think my plan is just going to be to kind of tuck. Yeah, this is what we're going to do because I can still access my eyebrows. Yeah, that's going to work. This because I don't want to use a headband. This is so weird. For my base, I always clean my face and then apply cream / SPF. The cream that I use already has SPF in it. Makes life a lot easier. It means I only have to put one product on, but that's already on my face. I'm then gonna add a primer. I thought I wanted loads of products to be like a proper makeup girl, but then I realized I don't use that many products. Like, I'm actually very simplistic with my makeup routine. I realized it was easier for me to just have a few key items that I can pretty much use all the time, and those are the ones that I'll be doing in today's video. Now that the setting spray has sort of dried a little bit, I'm gonna start with my eyebrow. It should be interesting seeing the fact that I can't see them and no one else can because I have a fringe, but it makes me feel nicer, so I'm still gonna apply them. I have very thin eyebrows just naturally, so I used to shape them. I used to get them threaded and then still draw over them afterwards, which some people used to ask me why would I thread them just to draw them back on, and it's just because it made it easier to draw because I had a more definitive shape and outline that I was working with. I pretty much do follow my natural shape to the most part. I'm just making it a bit bolder. Yeah, this is Maybelline Express Brow. I like it because I pretty much only use this type of product. I do swap brands sometimes, but for the most part, I've been sticking to this for a few years. I like it because for me, it gives a really natural look, which is what I'm after. I think most people probably know I draw my eyebrows. I mean, that's the difference, like with the product versus without. It's still my same general eye shape. It's just more defined and bolder. I can do this routine when I am on the train to work, and I often do. I have been tempted to film that just to show how simple it is, and maybe one day I will. I'll do get ready with me on the literal train to work. The things that require the most focus for me probably are my eyebrows, because if I don't like them, it kind of ruins the whole look. Even though, because of how my hair's currently styled, no one's gonna see them. I'm just following the general shape of my eyebrows. I'm using the brush occasionally just to soften if I've maybe made too harsh a line. And if I go outside the perimeter of my brow, I literally just wipe it away with my hand. This product will stay on for the whole day, but at the same time, if it's on your skin and you wipe it with your finger, it will come off. So it's really, I'd say that makes it really beginner friendly, because if you make a mistake, it's easy to remove, but at the same time, once it's on, it's not going to come off. I'm not going to spend too much more time on these because, like I said, I have a fringe, so you're not really going to see them once my hair's down. It just wouldn't feel complete if I didn't have my eyebrows down, even though I currently have a fringe. You can kind of see them. To be honest, I don't really apply anything to my forehead. At most, when I don't have a fringe, I use, yes, this is apparently by Terry, as you can see from the product. This is in Zero Colorless, and it's basically a pressed powder. I would maybe apply this either at the start of the day or maybe midday. My forehead tends to get very oily, so at most I'd just apply this to my head just to get rid of the shine, but that's pretty much it. I don't do any foundation. I don't do anything else to my forehead. Next, I'm going to put sort of some concealer under my eyes. I either apply an actual concealer, so this is the number 7 Stay Perfect Concealer Sepa, okay, whatever. I don't know how to say any of these names, or I basically just use my foundation and I only apply it under my eye. The reason for this is because my foundations are pretty much like a perfect match for my skin. I'm not really applying it anywhere else, so if I'm not applying foundation to my whole face, I sometimes just go in with the foundation under my eye, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to use the Rimmel London one. And disclaimer, I'm not a professional. This is literally just the basic routine that I do for myself, and it works. One tip I have is that I'll apply it. I'll either go, if I'm on the train, I'll just go in with my fingers. So I might do that on one side, just so you can see. So I literally just tap it in. I am mainly just focusing on the area that looks darkest. So not trying to pull the product out too far, just more where there is actually a difference in colour so that it's matching the rest of my skin. Whereas if you apply too much of the product and it goes like near your cheek, it kind of gets rid of the illusion of the fact that the foundation is lightening your under eyes. So yeah, you don't actually want to apply it everywhere. You want to really just only focus on the parts that are darker and just slightly blend it into the rest of your skin like I'm doing. So hopefully you can already see a difference. The other technique I'll do when I'm at home is I'll use my spray and I'll put it onto like a beauty blender. You can also just use water. And then I'll do basically the same thing, so rather than using my finger, sometimes I'll use my beauty blender. I feel like my eye is shaking while I do this. There's really not much of a difference. I feel like it gives very similar effects, but preference. It's just if I'm on the train, I'll use my fingers. I'm not trying to add more products, but if I'm at home, then I'll use the setting spray. And at least that way I know this is going to stay on better and not move around. So we've done my eyebrows, we've done my under eye. Next we are going to go in with some eyeliner. So I've got the L'Oreal Paris Perfect Slim by Superliner. There you go. It's really cute. It's a really, really thin brush, like super, super thin. This I actually got semi-recently. I got it maybe 2 months ago. I used to use a different one, but what I noticed is by the end of the day, it would always smudge. So applying it was really nice and easy, but it would smudge. This one doesn't smudge. Like I remember when I tested it in the shops, I put it on my hand and it didn't move the whole day. I was like rubbing it, it wasn't moving. So at that point I knew to buy it. The technique I do with eyeliner, this differs day to day, but generally what I try and do is I want to match the line that I'm drawing to effectively my eye, like this part of my eye. So, and the good thing with this being so smooth, you can almost just like press it onto your eye. But effectively the line I'm drawing is a continuation so that it's matching my actual like under eye, I don't know, eyeball. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, there you go. So that's the initial line we've got. And I'm just going to very slowly build on this by bringing it up to almost like my mid-eye. But keeping it very smooth, very thin. I'm just trying to neaten up this bottom bit as well because there's a few gaps in it. And I've noticed the tip isn't as sharp as I want it to be, so I'm just going to take the brush and extend it the tiniest bit to make it a bit sharper. Honestly, that's not like the greatest eyeliner, but from like a distance, you're not really going to see it, but that is good enough for me. So I only ever really draw my eyeliner up until this point. I used to do the whole thing, and then I got into the habit of only almost doing like half an eyeliner, and I really prefer how it looks. If I do want to extend it, I'll turn the angle this way, and like I'm not even really drawing it, I'm just pressing it on my eye to extend the line and keep it really, really thin. So yeah, now that's at like a midpoint, I'm really cute, and I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Obviously just looking to compare. They do look different, but that's because I was talking to the camera when doing this one, so I wasn't really as focused. But yeah, basically this one is how it normally looks when I'm fully focused. You get this effect. Sometimes I will draw the inner bit, so I'll avoid this middle part of my eye and just draw only a really tiny line on the inner bit if I want to sort of elevate the look. But for just every day, just pretty much doing the outer eyeliner. To be fair, I could leave it at this I could leave it at this point and that would be enough. But since I've got the time, I'm going to add a few more bits, but I'll differentiate between what I would normally add and what I wouldn't. I've got back into blush / bronzer. I am very much like I like a bit of a glow on my cheeks. I think it's really cute. I used to use this other palette that ran out, so I was basically I was looking for a new sort of bronzer highlighter that I could take with me. I don't know which brushes are the right brushes. I just find a brush that looks good. Effectively, I just want something that's like big and fluffy so I can evenly distribute it. So gonna grab my product. This is the Shimmer Highlight Powder by MUA Makeup Academy. I think this is for like teens who are just learning how to do makeup. And just very lightly putting it sort of the apple of my cheek. It's very prominent, I'll be honest. So I like quite a heavy look. You don't need to though, you could definitely make it a bit lighter. And the other thing I like to do is to do it across my nose a little bit. It gives it a more uniformed approach. So even every day, that will be me sort of done. So I'm not applying any contour or anything, literally just applying a little bit of highlighter or bronzer on my cheeks. If I'm using a liquid one, I'll skip my nose, but because I've got the powder, I'll apply a little bit to my nose and my cheeks and we're good. For my lips, I nearly always use Fenty. So I use the Fussy Gloss Bomb? Fussy Gloss Bomb. I don't know how to say that. And Riri. So this is very much like my everyday. It pretty much almost matches my lip color when applied. I love this one. But if I'm doing something a little more going out, so let's say I actually have plans in the evening after work, then I'll go for the Riri, which is a slightly darker shade. So pretty much those are my go-to. The only other thing that I use for lips, Thrill Seeker Glassy Gloss by Rimmel. By Rimmel London. You can tell I'm not made to read things out loud. I like this one, and you'll probably see this across all the products I use for my lips. I get very dry lips, so I nearly always have Vaseline on. So if I'm going to use some kind of lip gloss or lipstick, it has to be super hydrating. I don't touch anything that dehydrates my lips. I don't care how nice it looks. It's not worth it because I know it's going to just fade. These three, brilliant. They keep my lips hydrated. Yes, you might need to reapply the product as the day goes about, but for me, I would rather reapply but know my lips are hydrated than have a product that stays there really, really nice, like a great colour, but my lips have already dried out and looked really crack and gross. So yeah, for today, I'm going to try the Riri one. If I also want to elevate it a bit more, then sometimes I would do a lip liner. This is also Rimmel London. This is the Lasting Finish Exaggerate in 105. It's like a very cute sort of maroon colour, which I think goes really nice with the Riri Fenty lip gloss. So I'm going to apply that. One issue I have is that my lips, I think it's called, not an issue, we have no issues here. One fun added element that I had to grow up and figure out how to do is the fact that I have sort of like a double lip line. So my actual lip line, and then I've got like a coloured lip line, which is in a different place, which meant that whenever I was applying lipstick, it would always look really, really weird, which is partly why I stopped. I pretty much don't wear lipstick, I only do lip gloss. But the tip that I have found when it comes to sort of the inner corner mouth, which is where the issue, wow, I'm looking loud, which is where the issue comes from, rather than drawing my actual lip line, I'm only following where the colour is. I've noticed that makes it look better when you're applying like a lip liner or lipstick. That's the lip liner, so I'm now going to apply the lip gloss together. So yeah, super hydrating. So as you can see, that's like quite a bright colour compared to what my lips were before, which is why I'll only really use this if I'm wanting a more dramatic look and like planning to go out somewhere, which admittedly I'm not. I'm planning to stay in my house, but that's okay. Final thing is mascara. Sometimes I do avoid wearing mascara purely because if I know I'm going to be out late, I get too lazy to take the mascara off. It requires so much effort. but I have the time today. Oh, I'm using Maybelline New York Sensational Sky High mascara. That was a really slow way to describe it, wasn't it? Trying not to get mascara on my head. I think this is a really cute one. It coats each eyelash quite nicely individually. You get like a few bits clumping together, but as a whole, I feel like it doesn't clump too much. And even if you do what I do and you get a little bit of mascara somewhere, you just wipe it quite quickly. And there you go, problem solved. That's how it looks. So mascara, no mascara. As you can see, for me, it makes a really big difference. My eyelashes are already quite curled. Basically, I don't need to curl them, so for me, mascara is usually enough to get the sort of dramatic look that I'm after. But if I want it to be really, really dramatic, then sometimes I'll just add false eyelashes just to sort of the outer corner to make it even more dramatic. I'll be honest, doing eyelashes on the train is difficult. Same with eyeliner. One of the most entertaining things about doing makeup on the train is how many people stare at you. I actually had people come up to me, like including men, who are like, I never got why girls or people watched makeup tutorials, and yet they were like, I was watching you on the train and I just couldn't look away, and I figured that's probably what it's like for people watching like YouTube makeup tutorials. And I was like, that's a really interesting way to put it, which I thought was true, because I'm the same. I don't actually watch that many makeup tutorials, like just on a general basis. I only really watch them when I want to learn how to do a certain technique. But when I see people, like other girls on the train doing their makeup, it's just so mesmerizing. Specifically on the train though. Don't know why the train, but it is. This is the finished look. Very simple, very quick. Obviously because I'm talking to the camera, it's taking me a bit longer, but I could do this in like under 10 minutes easily. Okay, I have fixed my hair. So the fringe is back in place. Like I mentioned, you can't really see my eyebrows, but you can see, I'm going to do like a side by side. So hopefully you can notice more of a difference with my eyebrows and my eyes, even though I do have the fringe. Thank you for watching today's video. Hopefully you found that interesting, fun, easy, I don't know, useful. If you liked the look, please feel free to like the video. And if you'd like to watch similar content of me just sharing general makeup, beauty, skincare, hair, a lot of hair tips, then feel free to subscribe and see some future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time.